Welcome to Pilates with Julie. Today we are going to work on shoulders, creating stability and strength in our shoulders so that we can eliminate chronic pain, create some nice support for our shoulders, which is also going to help with our posture. So many of us, as we age and go through just the daily activities of life, tend to, especially women, get shoulder issues. So our shoulders get sore, we tend to struggle with frozen shoulder, and some of that actually comes from our posture. We get really tight in the front of our body and we get weak in through the back of our shoulders. So today I'm going to be using a couple of props. So some light hand weights. These are about 1.5 pounds, so they're not super heavy, just enough to give you a little bit of resistance. If you don't have hand weights, you could use like some soup cans or some water bottles, like just some plastic water bottles that are a little small. You can easily hold them and fill those up. And then I've also got this orange Marathon Stability ball. You could use any kind of ball, like a Pilates ball, or if you have young children around, they might just have a little ball just to play around with. You could probably use like a balloon that is a good durable balloon. Just all we're going to be doing with this is just applying a little bit of a bounce. So we're going to start off today using the ball. And for those of you that have worked with me in classes before, this is going to be a very familiar movement. This is all based on our fascial system and the support that our fascia gives us in our shoulder girdle. So I wanted to start off doing a little assessment, just so that you can see for yourself and feel for yourself the changes that are happening in your body when we do these exercises. So I'm just going to invite you to stand and just let your arms hang by your side. And I'm going to get you to close your eyes. I want to invite you to close your eyes because I just feel that we can kind of hone in and notice how our body feels a little more when your eyes are closed. So what I want you to notice is, first of all, just feel how your arms are hanging by the side of your body and just notice if they're like touching your body, like is the natural tendency for them to feel like they're hanging really close to your body, or do they feel somewhat supported out? Ideally, we want to have that nice support out, like our arms are almost hanging like in suspension from our shoulder joint. But then I also want you to take note of the positioning of your hand. So take note without looking at your hands. Can you feel like the palm of your hand is maybe facing directly behind you? So that would mean your arms are kind of turned inwards, your thumbs are closer to your thighs, so that the palm of your hands faces back behind you. So that's what I'm feeling today. I do feel like I've got some space under my armpits, which is good, but my hands are feeling like they're facing behind me. And that's actually sharing with me or telling me that I'm really kind of rotated inwards. If you want to open your eyes now, ideal is actually that your palm of your hands is facing more inwards towards your thighs. So we've got nice support from those rotation muscles on the outside. So now that you know how things feel when you start, we're going to come back to that at the end. I'm going to get you to grab a ball. If you don't have a ball, you can actually do this movement without anything. So if you don't have a ball or a balloon, it's tricky to do with a cushion. But I invite you to grab whatever it is you're using, or maybe without. I'll try and show you also without. And you're just going to place this ball kind of down above you, just above your wrist, kind of lower part of your arm, but not right in the wrist. And I want you to feel like your arm is really strong and long, kind of like a big broom handle coming out of your shoulder. You're going to rest the ball on your hip. And all we're going to do is just start to create a little bouncing sensation. So when we do this, I want you to feel like the movement is coming from the shoulder joint. So almost like you're trying to squeeze underneath your armpit, just very gently. Try not to let your arm flop around. Keep everything nice and stiff. And also, as you're going through this bounce, you want to make sure from the side that you're not like hunched forward, right? So think about nice and tall through your posture, and that shoulder is just slightly back. So on my right side, this is my right shoulder, mine tends to roll in a lot. So I just want to focus on that. Now I want you to turn the palm of your hand to face forward. So your thumb is facing up to the ceiling. And so now we've got that nice rotation outwards of your shoulder. So what's going on here is we're actually working like little stability muscles in your shoulder joint. We're warming them up, but also this vibration is helping to create kind of a reorganization of your fascial tissue that is supporting those muscles and also getting your nervous system working. So we've got nerves, muscles, and fascia all working together to create some support in that shoulder joint. So let's turn the palm of the hand in again to face towards the floor or in towards the ball. And you might be already starting to feel that nice warming sensation in through your shoulder. So this movement is actually from the Merrithew Fascial Movement Program that I just love to use. This is one of my favorite things. So we're going to turn so your palm of your hand is facing back. So I'm not getting anything to share that with you, but if you're wondering where this is coming from, that's where I learned how to do this, was through their fascial movement program. The ball is also from them as well. So keeping that shoulder nice and open and back, and the palm of your hand is facing back. You want to keep that core on just to support you. So just feel a little bit like you're just connecting into your muscles in your torso. So I don't know about you, but I'm already starting to feel like my shoulder joint is warming up. Turn that palm of the hand facing in. So we're just doing this maybe for a couple of minutes, kind of think 30 seconds per direction that your hand is facing. So I don't know, that's going to work out to maybe 2 or 3 minutes total. So let's just take that ball, put it between your legs, and just let your arms hang by your side. And I'm going to put this on the floor. I don't know if you can kind of see, but my arm that I just did that with is hanging out a little further than the arm that I haven't done yet. So it's my right side. And also the palm of my hand is already starting to turn inwards. So that my palm before was facing behind me, now it's already starting to turn inwards. So a couple minutes and we've already started to see some changes. So let's do the other side to even ourselves out. So placing that ball down low on your forearm onto the side of the hip, energize through those fingertips. Think soft shoulder away from the ear, but also remember we're not rounding forward. We're allowing that shoulder to move back a little bit. So this isn't an uncomfortable position. This is actually trying to find our neutral alignment, and we're just going to start bouncing. Now I'm swaying from side to side. That's not necessary, but that's just what happens. I guess that's just the mom in me, right? Once you have babies and you just start to sway, it just kind of happens. So when I'm bouncing, that's just a natural thing for me. So I'm just going to embrace it. So if you feel like you just want to hold still while you do this and concentrate on the bounce, that's okay too. All right. So just keeping that nice long arm, energizing through those fingertips, small little bounces coming from deep inside the shoulder. So let's turn the palm of the hand to face up. That's tricky to try and do this without using my other hand. I don't want to lose the ball. So you may find the same, but maybe as you progress with this, you could try doing this without using the other hand just for fun. Okay, so now we're feeling like that whole connection from our pinky into the back of the shoulder, into our lats, is feeling that nice warmth and connection. So we're activating the back of the shoulder by rotating the hand forward. So let's bring that palm of the hand to face in again, keeping that arm nice and long. We don't want floppy ragdoll arms. We want really long, energetic, maybe almost like stickman arms, right? That's just going to help with that movement in deep inside the shoulder joint. Let's turn the palm of the hand now to face back behind you. So the thumb's facing down to the floor. So we're rotating our arm inwards. So keeping the shoulder rotated back. So we don't want to rotate inwards and then cave forward. So still keep that alignment nice and neutral, and just have that sense of awareness of the alignment. All right, so I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel that warmth and maybe even a little fatiguing sensation in my shoulders. So another thing that I want to just impress on you that's super important for your body, especially if you tend to be really stiff, is sipping water through the day. So turn the palm of the hand to face back in for our last little set of bounces, keeping that arm nice and energized. So keeping your body hydrated by sipping water through the day, eating water-filled foods, all those are going to help to keep your fascial system really kind of plump and supportive. And that's also going to help with some chronic pain. Let's put that ball down and let's just take a little check-in and see if we're feeling now like both our arms are kind of supported. So I feel sort of like I've got this sensation of opening and lifting. My arms are just kind of hanging there. Maybe if I go to the side, you can kind of see before I was a little more like this, and now I'm just standing a little more upright. The palm of my hands are starting to face in towards my thighs rather than facing behind me. So let's take this movement. I'm going to grab a sip of water first, and I invite you to do the same, keeping that thought of sipping water. And then grab some hand weights. You could do this without hand weights as well. There's been times when I've just gone through the motion of this, of all of these exercises, this whole little series, and it can be just as helpful. The added benefit of the weight is that it's just going to give you a little more resistance and a little more work in those arms. So I wanted to start off by doing a little external rotation of the arms. So when we go through this movement, there's a couple things I want you to think about. Think about the alignment of your arms. So I don't want your arms to be really far back here. I want them just to be hanging basically straight down from your shoulder, maybe just a tiny bit forward. And then keep those shoulders lined. So again, we don't want to be that rounded forward. So if you tend to be someone who really rounds forward with their shoulders, just do your best to sort of lift with your chest without flaring the ribs. Keep those arms somewhat forward. And then we're just going to rotate back. So I want you to think about your arm bone being like, maybe like a paper towel roll. So I've got this paper towel roll holder in my kitchen where I just kind of plunk it straight down on this post. And so then when I'm pulling on the paper towel, it just rotates to the side. So I want you to think about your arm bone just rotating to the side. So we're getting the muscles working in the back of the shoulder. This is going to start to help strengthen that back area. And you might feel just a very gentle drawing together of your shoulder blades. I want you to avoid big gripping of the shoulder blades. So you can see this is just a gentle connection between the shoulder blades, and I'm going to do it wrong here. I don't want this going on. Okay, so we're not finding that flaring of the rib. We're keeping stable in through our torso and just spinning open both arms. Now you could do this one arm at a time. So maybe you just do 3 or 4 on one arm. Okay, let's do one more. That'll be 3. And then let's do 3 on the other side. And this actually just helps you to notice how things are feeling from one side over the other. So if you struggle at all with shoulder pain, let's do 3 together. Keeping your shoulders strong is really important. So I have struggled with shoulder pain for years, and it flares up when I forget to do these. If I've gone, maybe even might be a week, but sometimes it can just be a few days. Consistently staying strong in the shoulders can be super helpful. So the next exercise we're going to do, it has a similar movement, but now your arms are going to be up. So elbows maybe just slightly lower than your shoulders. And we're going to do that same type of rotation, but your arms are going to be up instead. So if this is too much having weights in your arms, then you're going to just do this without any weights. So some things to think about when we're doing this exercise is keeping your shoulders soft and away from your ears. So we don't want any elevation of the shoulders. Think long neck, but not to the point where you're really pressing your shoulders down. We want just stability of those shoulders again, which is why we did that orange ball stability movement, the bounces, to stabilize our shoulders. So with this one, we are working this whole back line of the shoulder, our posterior deltoids. We're maybe getting a little bit into drawing those shoulder blades together, but again, I don't want them pinching together. Keeping that connection with your core so that we don't flare our ribs. So I'll do this without, right? So you can see my back kind of sways, my back arches. We want to keep that core connection as we open and close those arms. Okay, let's do 3 more. 2 more. And last one. So for repetitions here, I'm looking for good form. So if you can maintain good form, anywhere from maybe 8, 10, 12, up to 15 reps, you could do a couple of smaller sets. Maybe you want to do a couple sets of 8. But then once you've lost your form and you're feeling fatigued, you want to stop. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is hug a tree. So we're going to work a little bit through the front, but also as we open out, we're working the back of the body. So your arms are out in front of you about chest height. So I'm just going to come over just so you can see I've got arms that look round, like I'm holding onto a big beach ball. And we're going to open them out and get a little stretch through the front body and draw the shoulders somewhat back. So we're going to open up, inhale forward, exhale back, and inhale forward. Exhale, open up the arms, inhale forward, and exhale, open up, inhale forward. If this is getting too heavy with those weights, go ahead and put them down. Okay, let's do 3 more. I'm starting to feel this, but it's still quite manageable. So light hand weights can still add a lot of challenge, especially when we're bringing our arms so far away. And last one, guys. And then let's lower your arms down. Okay, so I want to do a couple more movements and then we're going to go back and we're going to assess and see if things are feeling a little different. So this one is called offering. These are, so some of these moves we also do on the reformer. Oh, this is not my reformer. The reformer is in another part of my studio here. So we often do these on the reformer. So this is maybe going to be familiar for those of you who do reformer Pilates. So palm of your hands is facing up, arms are by your side, and you're going to reach your arms out in front of you. I would say chest height, no higher than shoulder height. And then you're going to open up to the side. Now with this one, you can come back to get a nice little opening of the front body. Then bring your arms forward and pull them back in. I'll do this from the side so you can see how far back I've gone. So arms forward and then leading with your thumbs and keeping your pinkies lifted. You're going to come back just to the point where you're not lifting and flaring your ribs. Come back in, elbows by your side. So let's inhale, arms out, exhale, arms wide, inhale, back together, exhale, elbows in. Let's do a couple more. Inhale out, exhale, open, inhale together, and exhale back in. And again, let's do 2 more. So holding this weight out is actually a great challenge for your core. And when you move slowly, you're going to get a little more of that challenge. This is our last one. And then let's hold our arms back, palms facing in towards us. And we're going to just finish with some triceps because we want to strengthen the back of our arm. So we're going to press back and hinge forward. So think of your elbow being like just a little hinge joint. Press back and forward, back and forward. All right, you've got this. Let's do 5 more. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so let's put those weights down and come back to our assessment. And I want you just to stand with your arms by your side and just notice how different this feels. So close your eyes. And I want you to notice if you feel that sense of kind of openness or airiness under your armpits. Your arms are hanging away from your body. And now the palm of your hands is facing in towards your thighs rather than in behind you. So you can open your eyes now, we've created some stability in that shoulder joint and some strength so that your posture is just a little taller. I don't know if you can see from the side. I don't have to work so hard to keep this position. So if you enjoyed that, if this worked well for you, give this video a try a couple times this week and see if your shoulders start to feel a little bit better. This might be a really great one to do before trying the push-up progression. So if you're working on your push-up progression, give this a try and then go and try the push-up progression video. Or maybe you tie this in with a core challenge and the stability ball. You've already got your stability ball here. Or maybe move on and add a leg sequence. So I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to like this video, comment, share this with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. And I will see you in the next video.